Okay, we are live on Facebook. So welcome to the 28th session of Bhagavad Gita 101 with technology interludes for ages 8 and up. So like before, we are going to start with the review of previous class. So anyone wants to recite the previous sloka, the sloka that we covered last class? Okay, go ahead.
Brahmaarpanam brahmahavir brahmaagnau brahmanahutam brahmaivatena gantavyam brahma karma samadhinaha.
Right. So we talked, and the meaning? Do you remember the meaning?
It's something about
So what you offer is God, and what?
everything is Brahman.
Yeah. Basically, everything is Brahman.
The
That's
God,
the way.
the offer, the offerings.
Yeah. So by having the idea that all acts and results from them are filled with God, the whole action becomes divine.
And we talked about how God is or Brahman in this case is omnipotent, omnipresent, and omniscient.
Yeah.
Which is everywhere.
Yeah. And we covered Hindu literature and text. We talked about what is Samhita. We talked about Ashtavakra Gita. We talked about Kathopanishad, the discussion between Nachiketa and Yamadharma Raja. And what else did we talk? So we covered a few. What else did we cover here?
We covered the Vedas.
Yeah, basically Ashtavakra Gita. We saw Shushrutas Yoga. Sushruta is a doctor, right? It's a medicine. Because
wait, Shushruta is a doctor as in now?
Long
modern?
In the Vedas. So one of the Samhitas, yeah. So it's all about surgery. So that is another Hindu text. Okay, so today we are going to cover the next sloka. Next, not really the next as it appears in the Bhagavad Gita, but next important sloka that for this course, for this session. So so let's first recite it. Shraddhaavaan labhate jnaanam tatparas samyatendriyaha jnanam ladva param shantim achire nadhigacchati. In Sanskrit, Shraddhavan labhate jnanam tatparas samyatendriyaha jnanam ladva param shantim achire nadhigacchati. So what is the meaning? The man who is full of interest and faith, who is devoted to it, and who has subdued all the senses, obtains this knowledge, and having obtained the knowledge, he goes at once to the supreme peace. So that is the meaning. So this is also a very important sloka because this is sort of the recipe or the prerequisites for acquiring knowledge. I mean, we all have to acquire knowledge, right? All through our lives. So what are the prerequisites to acquire knowledge? This sloka explains very nicely. So, and by the way, this is the last sloka that we are going to cover in chapter 4. There are a few more slokas in this chapter, but This is the sloka which kind of captures it all. Um, so the remaining three or four slokas, I think, talk about doubt, which is kind of related to this topic. I'll tell you why it is related. But first, let us look at the individual meanings of the words. So, Shraddhaavaan. What is Shraddha? It's common in all Indian languages. What does Shraddha mean?
Focus.
Name.
Focus.
Yeah, focus. That's right. Shraddha is interest, focus. So the rites that uh, people perform for the departed souls, like for like my father passed away, right? So I perform rites every year to my father. So that procedure, the process is called Shraddham. Why?
Because you focus.
Yeah, we are supposed to focus completely, stay devoted to the person who passed away on that day. So that is why it is called Shraddham. Means we take a lot of interest and faith. We show a lot of faith, devotion, and interest in the person who departed. We remember his deeds. We remember what he did, what he talked, and all that. So Shraddha means interest, devotion, focus, right? So Shraddhaavaan means a person who is devoted, who is faithful, and who is very interested in something. Labhate. Labham means what? Labham.
Gaining
Gain.
something.
Labhate means gain,
Oh.
achieve. So labhate means achieve. Jnaanam,
No.
knowledge, of
Yeah.
course. Tatparaha,
That means that.
yeah.
So.
Attach it to that. Tatparaha means attached to that. Samyata. Samya means what? We came across this word before also, right? Samya.
Yeah.
Samanga means what? In Telugu, in Indian language, what does samam mean? Samam means equal. Sama means equanimous. Samyata means kind of equanimous.
Equal.
Equanimous is a word in English. Equanimous means balanced. Somebody who is not disturbed and who is stable is called like equanimous. So samyata is kind of equanimous, but you can think in this context, you can think of it as controlled. When you're controlled, you're equanimous. When you control your mind, body, and you're in complete self-control, you're equanimous. You don't get disturbed easily. So that's called samyata. Indriyaha. We came across this word before, right?
It's like the materialistic thing.
Yeah, but Indriya, yeah, that's right. But Indriya actually means, the literal meaning of Indriya means body parts or senses in this case. Sarvendriyanam nayanam pradhanam. There is a saying in Sanskrit which goes Sarvendriyanam nayanam pradhanam. What does it mean?
Nayana means no.
No,
Or
nayan,
no.
nayan.
Wait,
Sarva means what?
All. Every.
Indriya means
Senses.
body parts. Body parts are senses, okay. But in this context, it is body parts. Sarvendriyanam. Nam means
Is it helping?
among. So among all parts, nayanam pradhanam. What is pradhanam mean? What does pradhanam mean? Pradhan. Pradhan Mantri. You heard about Pradhan Mantri? Never? Prime Minister is called Pradhan Mantri. Minister is called Mantri.
So
Prime means
first.
Pradhan. Yeah. Prime means important. So among all body parts,
The most important.
parties,
Nine. Eyes.
yeah, right. Naina means eyes. In Hindi also, nine means eye. So,
Wait, why do they say that?
yeah, among all the body parts, eyes are the most important, right? You can see the world. That's how you perceive the world.
And what about people who are blind?
They're unfortunate, right?
But wouldn't your soul be the most important part of your body, your consciousness?
No, soul is never the part of body. That's what we do. That's the whole idea of Bhagavad Gita, right? Soul is not part of the body.
Yeah, but like the consciousness or your mind.
No, eyes are considered the most important senses. Okay, you can think of them as senses also. I mean, among all the senses, the eyes, the senses which give you the vision are the most important. You can think of it that way. So
Why do you
Indriya.
say that?
I mean, it's just a saying. That's what people think.
Oh.
So Indriya means senses. Jnanam again means knowledge. Labha. Labhate means gain or achieve. Labha means already have gained or achieved. It's the past tense of labhate. Param. Atma Paramatma. What does Parama mean?
Doesn't Paramatma mean like the eternal Atma?
Yeah, ultimate. The ultimate. So Param means transcendental, something which is beyond everything. Transcendental. Shantim. Shanti is peace. Achirena. What is Chirena? Chira means what? Chiranjeevi.
Is it like something to do
Chirayuhu.
with like listen?
Chira. What does Chira means?
Is it something to do with like listen or speak?
No. What does Chiranjeevi mean?
Star?
Yeah, one of the stars is a Chiranjeevi. There are 16 Chiranjeevis. We talked about it in one of the previous classes. So what does Chira mean? Forever. Chira means forever. So Chiranjeevi is somebody who lives forever. So there are, I think,
Hanuman?
16. Yeah, Hanuman,
Vamana?
Ashwadhama,
Who's Ashwadhama?
son of Dronacharya. Remember Mahabharata. So Ashwadhama.
So they're alive now?
They are supposed to be alive even today.
Oh.
So Chira means forever. Achira means
Not forever or
not forever. Means very soon. The opposite of forever is very soon. So achirena means very soon. Adhigachati. Yeah. You have a question, Aditi?
I want to say something. They say that Hanuman doesn't live on forever, but he lives for the whole Kali Yuga. Only for the whole Kali Yuga.
Yeah, Hanuman is forever. He lives forever in Kali Yuga particularly.
On the Himalaya.
Yeah, I mean, there are all sorts of stories that they saw Hanuman in Himalayas and all that. We don't know the truth about that, but Hanuman, at least he lives in our minds, right?
Yeah. Like
so
he lived in Rama and Sita's heart.
Yeah. So Chiranjeevi means somebody who lives forever. Achira means very soon. Adhigachati. Gachati means gacha means go. Ga ga. So gachati means move or go. Adhigachati means you attain, I mean you reach the goal.
Oh, doesn't Adi mean like half or something?
Adi, um, no, Adi. Adi means beginning. Adi means kind of overcome.
So overcome your goal. Well, the only way to overcome it is to
Adi,
pass it, which means
Adi in this
achieve it.
case is kind of adding to Gachati. That means you have already achieved, you have already reached your goal, attained. So that's what is the meaning of Adi Gachati.
So it's like making it past tense.
Yeah. So Achirena Adi Gachati means you will get it very soon, or you will reach your goal very soon. So a faithful man achieves knowledge if he is very much devoted and attached to it and is controlled, his senses are controlled, and having achieved this knowledge, he reaches the eternal peace. That's what it means.
He
Right?
very soon. He
Yeah, very
attains
quickly.
it very soon.
Very quickly. So this also gives you the recipe for in your general day-to-day lives also. You can achieve, it tells you how you can achieve something. You can achieve something only if you are focused, if you have interest, you are devoted to it, and you have faith in it. So those are the characteristics. So you, by being faithful, I mean, by having faith, by being devoted, by taking a lot of interest in something, you you attain knowledge about that thing. You get knowledge about that thing. So that is the, those are the primary prerequisites to get something. And once you have the knowledge, you can use the knowledge to reach the ultimate goal, which is reaching God, right? So there is a story. This sloka can be explained by a story that Ramakrishna Paramahamsa told his disciples. So long back, there was a guru. He had a number of spiritual guru, and he had a number of students learning from him. So one student got very impatient. He said, Guruji, you keep on talking about God and good things and karma, jnana, and all these things. But when will I see God? It's been so many years. I've been a student with you for more than 10 years now. And I'm not able to understand when we are going to see God. I mean, 10 years is a long time. So when will we see God? When will we realize God? Then so this Guruji said, okay, I will tell you, come, let's go to the river. So they go to the river, and the Guruji asked the students to for the student to completely get immersed in the water. So put his head inside the water. The student puts his head inside the water, thinking that maybe I can see the God now. So after a few moments, the after a few minutes, the student gets up, gasping for breath. He says, Guruji, I did not see God. So then Guruji asks, okay, you did not see God, but how did you feel? Then the student says, I thought I will die. I thought I will lose my breath and I'm going to die. Then Guruji says, see, that's when you will see God. Only when you are so desperate to see God that you may die for the God, then you will see God. So you must be that devoted to see God, that devoted, and you should have faith. Even if death comes, you should not go back on the path. So that is the faith that you should have in your approach to God. That is the reason why religion is so important. And people fight for religion, but for unfortunate reasons. But religion is basically a path to reach the God, right? So, of course, some religions say you cannot cross this path, you cannot take any other path. Uh, Bhagavad Gita never says that, or some religions don't say that. They say it is good if you take this path. That's all they say. If you take this path, then it will be good. That's all they say, right? So um, so uh, so what were we talking?
We were talking about religion and
Yeah,
how.
so the path. So you should have faith in your path. That is very, very important. Come what may, you should not deviate from the path.
What about the people who change their religion?
That is really not a good idea, because the whole idea of religion is faith. You should have complete faith in the path that you take. So faith, devotion, interest, you should have complete interest also. Only
No.
then you can achieve.
So your knowledge should match with your religion, your action should match with your religion, and your devotion should match with your religion.
Yes. So religion is just a path. So when you're completely faithful, like, and you should be completely desperate. You should be completely desperate, like, uh, you should be willing to suffer for the sake of the cause.
Yeah, we talked about that in one of the like first slokas, because we talked about how Arjuna is in a desperate state, and he approached Krishna in a way that's asking for help, and we learned that
Yeah,
we should also approach Krishna in the same way.
exactly. So that is the kind of attitude that a person should have when God will actually uh, help the person. So faith, absolute faith, just like a small baby. See, babies are considered reflection of God. In many Indian languages, there is a saying that babies are a reflection of God,
Why?
because babies have the characteristic, godly, divine characteristics.
Is that why
Remember?
they say children are like God?
Yeah, babies and children. So we should, unfortunately, with time and age and with exposure to the world, we slowly lose those characteristics.
Birbal also says that. I just remembered of a Birbal story. Birbal shows um, King Akbar how children are God. King Akbar
Yeah.
asks
Yeah,
Birbal, "Where is God? How can I see it?" And then Birbal takes him to the children, the children where the children are playing, and King Akbar plays with them all day. And then at the end of the day, he says, "Birbal, that was so much fun, but how come you didn't show me God?" And then Birbal says, "But this is God, King Akbar. These children, and they're so innocent. The children are God themselves."
And I think I watched like a Tenali Raman story, like an episode, and it was about the same topic.
yeah. A lot of Tenali Rama stories have similarities with Birbal stories. See, I mean, the very fact that a king could spend a whole day with someone means the power of the
God.
children, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, so children are like God. So, unfortunately, with time, we lose those qualities that we are born with. And one of the qualities is faith. See, a small baby, you show the small baby a man and say that is your dad. The baby believes. Does the baby ask questions? No. Next day, or in a day or two, the baby starts saying dada or daddy, or right. So similarly, mommy. Mommy, of course, is from the beginning, there, from the birth. So baby has faith. The baby never asks questions. So that is the kind of faith that we should continue to have, to be eligible to see God or to realize God, right? So the qualities are, for anything, for achieving knowledge, any knowledge, you need to take interest. That is very, very important. These days, one of the things that I see in the children particularly is that they lack interest. They don't take interest. It is very unfortunate. I mean, interest is very important. So, like for instance, you get textbooks. When I was young, I would spend. I still remember when I was in primary school. My dad would uh, take a day to bind the books. He used to bind the books like
Bind them?
hardbound. Yeah, the
Wouldn't they already be bound
no,
together?
there will be a soft cover, right? This is called
Oh,
a soft cover. So my dad would make it hardbound. So he would take a day for that. So I wouldn't even wait for one day to read the books, see the contents, what is there in the book. But I don't see that kind of interest in today's generation. So interest is very, very important. I post the syllabus. I mean, some students are very interested. I post this, like I posted the syllabus for a course that I'm for two courses that I'm teaching. I posted the syllabus 10 days ahead of time. One section of students were very eager. Most of them saw everything. They spent hours on the website that I put together. They read the syllabus. They took a lot of interest. But one section, hardly two or three students opened the syllabus. So interest is very important. To achieve anything, you need to take interest, and you should have faith. So if you start, oh, I'm not going to get a good grade in this course anyway, so why I bother? That's it. Your interest is gone. So faith kind of relates to interest. So you should have firm faith, just like a baby has faith. No questions, no doubts.
oh, is a baby, does a baby have good qualities because they just finished? Like when we die, we have this cleansing process, and since the baby is just
Yeah.
out of the cleaning process, it's new, and then when it's
Exactly.
new,
Yeah, and
it's
it
like
has,
pure.
Yes.
yeah, and it doesn't have any favorites because they haven't seen anything.
Yeah.
That's why the girl, like the sage, he like put his um food in water and then ate it, so he wouldn't have favorites.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, so the baby doesn't have attachment because it doesn't know anything. It doesn't have anything to be attached to. It doesn't have fear because it doesn't even know what to be scared of and what is scary, what isn't. That comes in a later period of time. And it doesn't have anger because it doesn't have any expectations to be broken and to get angry at.
Yeah, see, you got the point. So we are born with all those qualities, and the baby is always happy. It's always happy. Um, so it is innocent and it is happy. So those are the kind of qualities we should continue to live with. But unfortunately, we lose those qualities with time because of the way we use our indriyas, our senses, right? So, so, so it is very important to take interest. Suppose if the baby doesn't take interest, the mom shows a man and says he is your dad. The baby doesn't show interest. What happens? Is it
Then,
even possible?
no.
No, because second day, third day, the baby starts saying dada. The moment they know words, um, so the baby starts saying. So the baby took interest. If the baby did not take interest, what would happen?
And then they won't be able to
Yeah,
recognize
they
people.
wouldn't be able to
Yeah.
recognize. They wouldn't be able to do anything. I mean, right? So taking interest is very, very important in everything that you take. You should, everything that you do, you should take a lot and lot of interest, right? So, and that is one thing. And what is the other thing that is a prerequisite for gaining knowledge? You need self control, you need the willpower. See, you cannot even raise your hand, right,
Without
without
willpower.
willpower. without self control, right? If you don't control your hand, what's going to happen?
Like this.
It's gonna go
Suppose,
do something else.
yeah, the hand is simply going to lie down like that. It doesn't do anything.
It'll become
It's,
useless.
yeah, it becomes useless. So it is very, very important to also have self control, to practice self control. How do you practice self control? In our culture, there is something called Sankalpam. Before every puja, you're the, of course, the priest does the puja for you most of the times, unfortunately or fortunately, because if we do the puja ourselves, we would have learned those things.
But if we had said something wrong, then it
Yeah,
would
that
have
is the
affected
reason why people hire a priest and all that. But we should at least understand the principles behind it.
the
Some
meaning.
priests explain the meaning. Some priests, most priests don't. So we should always try to get to the roots. We should find the meaning why we are doing Sankalpam. Sankalpam is a very powerful way to to boost your willpower.
Yeah, it gives you interest. Like,
Yeah,
they said that they wouldn't get a good grade, so they didn't get a good grade.
yeah.
It's like,
Yeah, Sankalpam. You think, you say to yourself, so this class, I am going to focus completely on what is being taught. I will not let some other thought come into my mind. I will not let my mind wander. So you say that Sankalpam before the class, any class in your school also, when you are attending your school, you say it to yourself. See, the teachers spend so many years. See, for high school itself, and even for elementary school, the teachers are postgraduates. They do masters. It's how many years of education? Tell me.
Over 4, 5 years.
No, 12 years of schooling plus 4 years of undergrad
Oh,
plus 2 years of masters.
and then there's
So
preschool
12
and
plus,
pre-K. They have to
yeah,
attend that
12
too.
plus 4 plus 2 is 16, 18 years of learning, maybe 20 years, like you said, preschool. So 20 years of learning and experience they are sharing with you.
Oh, yeah. Before becoming a teacher, you have to spend a couple of years as like a helper, an assistant.
Yeah, so all that is there. And for high school, it's even tough. So when they are sharing their knowledge with you, it is minimum necessity that you pay full attention to them,
Is it
right?
like how when you learn from a guru, you have to do some like mantra and promises to use the knowledge wisely and listen and pay
Yeah,
attention?
that is one type of sankalpam, but this I'm talking about even simpler sankalpam. The sankalpam which goes at the beginning of every class. So at the beginning of every class, you tell yourself, I am going to completely focus on what the teacher is teaching me. Even if I don't understand, I will try to understand. I will try to ask questions if possible. If it is not possible, at least I will try to understand whatever I can, but I will not let let it go. So tell that small sankalpam. See, it's a very powerful procedure, not just for pujas, but even in your daily life. And what is puja? Puja is basically a way to remind yourselves of what is expected of you. That is why every day people do puja. In India, my dad used to do puja in the morning for so many minutes, several minutes. He used to do puja. Um, I also used to do puja long back, but because of the job requirements and all that, I stopped getting time. So I do puja in my mind, manasika puja. Like when I am heating water in the microwave, I recite some slokas and some procedures. When I am walking on the stairs, getting down, coming up, I recite some slokas. So I still do puja, but in my mind because I don't have time. So puja is a way to remind ourselves of what is expected of us and remind ourselves of the approaches that we should take. So sankalpam is the first thing that you do in puja. So sankalpam should be done for everything, not just for puja, but for everything. You start doing homework. You tell yourself, I am not going to get up from my homework until I complete it. That is a simple sankalpam you say and stick to it. Your determination becomes very strong. See, when I came to US, we were given a training in professional development. So one of the things that the coach taught us is basically something like sankalpam. So what he said is, you stretch your arm. Everyone stretch their arms. You rotate. You turn your arm as much as you can. 90 degrees, 120 degrees, 180 degrees. How much can you turn? So people turn. Then he said, okay, close your eyes now. Put your hand down. Close your eyes. Now, say to yourself, I am going to stretch my hand all the way 360 degrees. So in the beginning, in the first attempt, he asked us to open the eyes and see where our hand was, and asked us to remember where our hand was. So in the next time, he asked us to say this in our mind and made us rotate again. And then again, close the eyes and then rotate all the way 360 as much as you can. And people rotated. And he asked them to open their eyes and just ask them to look at their hands. Ask them, how much did the hand reach the same place, or did it go beyond? Everyone said beyond. He said, how come? He said, determination. You tell something to yourself, it's like hypnotism. You hypnotize yourself with those small words. But in our culture, it's not called hypnotism or anything, or professional development, but it's simply called sankalpam. For every puja, you do sankalpam. You tell yourself that you're going to do it and you will do it better. So so taking interest, having faith. See, the puja teaches you all these things, right? In When you do puja, you take interest. Unfortunately, because these days you just pay the priest some money and then the priest does it for you. You think you're getting um, uh, good thing, punyam, right? That's what people think. It has come to that level now, but it is not true. Puja was not meant to be like that. Puja was meant for people to imbibe into their daily routine what is good. So in puja, you show interest. I mean, if you were doing the puja yourself, like the priest shows a lot of interest. Uh, you show interest, and the priest has a lot of faith. He doesn't think, oh, what is the use of saying Sankalpam? I mean, why do I have to say Vaivasvata Manantre Kalvige Pradhame Pade Jambudvipe Bharatavarshe Bharatagande Mero Daksha Digbhage Srisailase, all that? Why do I have to say? I mean, it's all understood. Why do I have to repeat it? So it's all basically giving your location and your time
Time.
frame and all that stuff, right? So what is the fun in telling it again? That's what. But the priest never thinks like that. He has full faith. So interest, faith, devotion. So these are the requisites which the puja teaches you. So when you do puja in the morning, you remind yourself about of all these things and you practice them throughout the day. That is the idea of puja. So how does, the concept of intuition, right? Intuition
Yeah.
is basically it comes with your experience. So you cannot, however, there are some people who have lived for 100 years also, or maybe 80 years. They don't have the intuition. Why?
Isn't intuition when you like have a feeling something's gonna happen?
Yeah, your gut feeling kind
Yeah.
of thing, right?
Instinct.
So that instinct, yeah, yeah, sort of instinct. So you see that some people, although they lived for 60 or 70 years, don't develop the intuition which a 21-year-old develops. Like you see in India, even in US, of course, but in India it's more prevalent, because
What is prevalent?
prevalent means more popular, or
Oh, more seen.
yeah, more seen. Um, so in India, uh, there is this police force, right? You take the example of police force. Actually, any government department you take. So the government departments are run by who are called as civil servants, even in US.
Like generals?
No, no, civil
Chiefs?
servants. Generals and chiefs are army. Civil is the opposite of army.
Oh. Wait,
Yeah,
is it?
even in army there is a cadre where 21-year-olds become bosses of people who have 30 years experience also. They're called NDA. They grow very fast. In India, it's called NDA. That cadre is called NDA, National Defense Academy.
Doesn't civil mean to be like calm and
Yeah. Civil means basically living together kind of thing, right? So army is the opposite. Um, it's completely disciplined and all that stuff. Civil is about governance, and so anyway, that we are getting distracted. So what I mean to say is, these civil servants become heads of government departments at the age of 21, 22, 23.
how?
They take a test, they pass really rigorous tests, they go through an interview process, and then they are ranked. So if they go through all that, um, they get to become heads of departments. And when the person is the head of a department, the person could have people with 30 years of experience also reporting to him. So why is it that some people are able to develop the intuition in just 21 years and others are not able to develop? I mean, leadership is all about intuition, right?
Right.
You need to make the right decisions. You should get the right feelings inside you, right? So some people develop that intuition at the age of 21, whereas some people don't develop. Why is it?
Is it like jnana?
It's not just
Or is it
knowledge.
like when you use your consciousness?
Yeah, when you are devoted, when you take interest, intuition does not develop if you don't take interest.
It's like when you are reading something absent-mindedly,
Yeah,
then you have to read it. Even if you read it 100 times, you still won't get it.
Yeah.
But when
exactly.
you read it in
With
like a
interest.
present
Yeah.
Yeah,
form, then you can understand the article in one
exactly.
time.
Yeah.
See, even you're still in the process of studying thick textbooks, but how do people read textbooks which are say 1200 pages in one semester, which is like 3 months? One, of course, quarter is 3 months, semester is 4 months. In 4 months, how can you read a textbook which is of 1200 pages?
You
And
go
then
deep into the book.
we go deep into the book. How is it possible? How much time do you take to read one page?
Maybe a day or two. If
Page?
you
No,
go
one
deep.
minute.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
if you go deep
Yeah, if you
into
go deep, you can take a day or two, but you are supposed to read 1200 pages. How is it possible?
Then
By
you should.
gaining the intuition. You should slowly gain intuition. If you read 4 5 words, you should be able to get the essence of the remaining 100 words around those 3 4 words.
It's like
Nobody
summarizing.
reads. Nobody reads word by word. See, like these days, nobody reads newspapers which come to the home, right? The printed newspapers. But about a few years back, newspaper was a daily routine. Somebody, if the newspaper wouldn't come one day, like my dad, would be restless. My dad would be restless if the newspaper was delayed by even 10 minutes. Exactly at 6:15 or something, the newspaper should be at the door. Otherwise, he would be restless. He was so addicted to newspaper. So newspaper typically has like 32 long pages.
Right,
You
they're
saw?
like this
Oh yeah,
big.
you saw the newspapers, right? Yeah, they are very big and they are like 32 pages at least. So, but how many minutes do you think each person takes to read the newspaper?
They just skim it while drinking breakfast
Yeah,
coffee.
10 minutes. That's what my dad also used to do. 10 minutes, 15 minutes at most, while having coffee, he used to quickly browse through the news. And then if at all something was interesting, he would come back in the evening and spend another 30 minutes at most on some specific thing. So how is a person able to read that 32 pages of dense material in just 10 or 15 minutes?
Read the headlines.
Not just the headlines. You may not be
Yeah.
able to make out everything in the headlines, right?
Yeah.
So
Then
you will develop that intuition. So by reading just 5 or 6 words, you will be able to read 200 or 300 words around those 5 or 6 words. That is the kind of intuition you should develop. So if you don't take interest, you read thousands of books, but you don't take interest and read word by word every day, it's not going to help you. You're not going to gain intuition. Interest is very important to gain intuition. So you should take interest. You should feel as if, see, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, what did he do? He asked the student to immerse his head inside the water. So um, you should be that desperate. You should be that desperate. That is the kind of interest you should have. The desperation should be in you. You want to know. You want to know what's in the headlines, what's beneath. So that is the kind of interest that you should take in whatever you do. Then your intuition will develop, and your decision making will be strong. You will develop self control and all that. So interest is very important. And self confidence also, right? With intuition comes self confidence. When you're able to take good decisions, your confidence will grow, right? You will feel more confident about yourself. You take a decision, you go by the decision, and you get success, you become successful, your confidence grows, right?
Yeah.
So that's how. uh, See, like you have rice and you have curry. How do you know how much curry to take for the rice in the plate?
By checking the amount of rice in the plate.
But how do you measure, how do you know how much is sufficient, will be sufficient?
well, there's normally like a formula or based on what you do.
Intuition, it's again intuition. So one day you make a mistake, you put a lot of curry, oh, you struggle, oh my god, I put a lot of curry, I have to complete this whole curry. You even if it's a bit spicy hot, you mix more curry and then try to complete it. Next day it might be a little less, so you might have to put a little more curry. But over a period of time you will know how much curry to take for the rice. So that is
Yeah.
intuition. That is what is intuition. Because you took interest. Suppose you did not take interest, you put curry like this and it becomes a lot. You mix it, you throw the remaining curry, and then tomorrow also don't take interest, put curry this much, mix it, remaining throw. If you do that, you will never gain intuition, right?
Yeah.
You will never become better.
So is it kind of like in machine learning? Is it kind of like how um the the robot or the machine learning the robot has to um like learn from its mistakes, like how the generator has
Yeah.
to learn from what it did wrong. But if it just absent-minded, so if it sends a picture to the
Yeah.
discriminator and it tells it it's wrong, the generator can't just try all over again. It has to base it
Yeah.
off what it did wrong.
Yeah, the generator or the discriminator pays a lot of attention to the loss function, to what is sent back to it. It doesn't waste even a little bit of the loss function. It takes full interest in the feedback given by the discriminator. The generator takes full interest in what feedback is given by the generator discriminator, right? Other, if it loses some information that the discriminator gives, the generator is not going to improve, right? So it takes every 100% of the feedback that the discriminator gives in form of loss function to improve its weights, right? So that is, yeah, that's a very good example. So we should also be like that. When machines are like that, we are born like that. Actually, we were born like machines. We have complete faith. We were born with complete faith. We were born with complete interest. We were born with, just like machines are born. But over time, because of our senses, the misuse of the senses, we tend to lose those abilities, right? So interest is very important. And focus, your interest and focus go hand in hand, right? So I'm using the word interest more, but actually it's actually focus. When you have interest, you have focus. When you have focus, you will automatically be interested. And then self control. These are the three. Indriya samyata, samyatendriyaha. Remember this word. Always remember this word, um, as many times as possible. Samyatendriyaha. That means I will remain calm and controlled in all your actions. Suppose you want to do this, you will do this. You will not let laziness drag you towards the TV or the couch.
Isn't that Sankalpam?
Yeah, Sankalpam or whatever you call it. Samyatendriya. So you keep saying this word, Samyatendriya. I will be self controlled and I will be um, equanimous. I will not get disturbed. I will not become lazy. If I have to do this, I will do this. You should get into that habit, right? So that means that you should not have a lot of passions also, a lot of, um, suppose you have a lot of passion for something, then you will not be able to control. Your passion will pull you towards that, right? So we should be able to control ourselves. So interest, focus, faith, self-control, these are required for gaining knowledge. Without these, you cannot gain any knowledge, and if you don't gain any knowledge, you will not be able to reach the God quickly. Our ultimate goal is to reach the God, right? So for doing small things like your homework, attending classes, you need these four things. For attaining God, you need these things in much more proportions, right? You need much more quantities of these things: faith, interest, self-control, right? um, so for spirituality, you need these attributes in very big proportions. But it is unfortunate, but that all these things are misused by, see, like godmen, the gurus, some gurus, right? In India, particularly, um, there are some gurus who have misused the faith of people. Religion is all about faith. So they say you have faith in me, but they misuse the faith to do things, bad things.
So they take advantage of
Yeah, they
people.
take advantage. They steal. There are some gurus who stole rings by asking the devotees to close their eyes. Their ornaments were robbed, and in some cases they would say, "Put your ornaments in this bowl. I will do some mantra to it, so that once you wear that ornament back, you will have the power." And then the ornaments get robbed, stolen. So people do lots of, just because faith has been misused. A lot of things, faith has been misused. Um, and interest, suppose you take a lot of interest on Twitter posts. Twitter is a very good, powerful medium for informal news. Newspaper has formal news, but informal news you depend on. See, like the other day, there was an earthquake. There was an earthquake, right? 3.5
Yeah.
Richter scale. So did I look at a newspaper?
No.
Did I call somebody? Did I go to a browser? No. Did I go to a site, website? I went to Twitter.
Social media.
Yeah, social media, it's so powerful. So because I have faith in social media, I have interest in social media. Unfortunately, people misuse that also. Many people post lies. So in the next class, we'll look at that example also, right? See how machine learning can address that problem uh, of finding out lies on Twitter. So So people have misused, so we should still be able to have these qualities even though they're being misused. We should still be able to have these qualities. And how will you be able to have those qualities? By intuition. When your intuition is strong, you know what to believe and what not to believe. So that intuition should develop in you by trying to focus on good things. So faith is very, very important in any religion. Faith is very important. Why? Because what is the opposite of faith?
It's unloyalty.
Okay, unloyal or doubt, right?
Yeah.
Doubts. You will have a lot of doubts if you don't have faith. So doubt is born of ignorance or knowledge.
Ignorance.
Ignorance, right? If
Yeah.
you know everything, why will you have a doubt?
Right.
So
Yeah.
ignorance is born out of, I mean, doubt is born out of ignorance. So anything which is a which has roots in ignorance is,
Is doubt or
Oh.
if you base yourself on ignorance, what are you signing up to?
we're finding it to be unsuccessful, to be doubtful.
Yeah, to be unsuccessful, to be uh, sometimes it can lead to evil also. Anything that has root in ignorance can lead to evil, and similarly doubt can lead to evil also. So doubt is very dangerous. Try to be away from doubt as much as possible. But before that, you need the intuition. You need to develop the intuition. You need to develop knowledge. That is why education is very important to you. You must take a lot of interest in education. Education, the STEM education, the arts education, the religion education, all kinds of education is important for you to gain the intuition, to remove doubt from your mind. The other dangerous thing about ignorance and particularly doubt is that it damages the soul. Uh, if you have a lot of doubts, you will you your heart will not be pure, right? Suppose you doubt that your friend is trying to cheat you, your heart is no longer pure. You'll be always in fear. You'll always be in uh, wondering what is going to happen next and so on.
But if you have faith in your friend, then you will just keep on.
Yeah, you'll be free of fear. Your heart can be pure. You can be happy.
Yeah.
All those good things can happen to you. But if you have doubt, but when will you develop faith in your friend?
When you've
What?
been with them for a long time and you know.
Yeah, when you are with the person for a long time, number
You got
one,
used to it.
and you have the intuition to know what a person is.
Oh,
You should develop the intuition. See, some managers can quickly say which person could be which candidate could be a good employee by
is it
talking to the candidate for like 5-10 minutes.
is it like how like detectives
Yeah,
are able to have the intuition to find out who's the thief and who's
right,
telling the truth?
right. Just like the detectives and the police find out about thieves and the criminals. So just like that, that is the kind of intuition you should develop. When you develop that kind of intuition, you automatically know who is a good friend, who is not a good friend. So for developing that intuition, education is very important, and particularly education like this Bhagavad Gita education is very important. So you should take full interest. So when you have this doubt, so you are in fear, your thoughts are not pure, your lot of bad things happen. So when bad things happen, what will it do to your soul? You're storing all bad memories in the soul, right? Soul is what? It's a collection of memories,
Right. It watches
impressions.
everything you
Yeah,
do.
and then it writes the impressions inside, right? So with doubt, the soul gets corrupted. Doubt damages the soul, and it makes your mind confused. If you live in fear for a long time, you get confused.
Yeah.
So there is a movie. I forgot the name of the movie. I was a small boy that time. My parents took me to that movie. So that movie, the hero's family is completely killed by villains. It's a very happy family, but everyone, the hero is in the office, and the bad people kill the entire family, and then put the blame on the hero. So the hero goes to jail for killing his own happy family.
But he didn't.
He didn't. So he spends like 14 years in jail, comes out of the jail, and then he takes revenge on all these bad guys. He doesn't do anything. He doesn't kill them, he doesn't do anything. He just creates confusion in their minds.
How?
Where it's a whole movie. I cannot tell the whole thing, but he creates confusion in the minds. He creates fear in their minds. That's all. That destroys them. They automatically get killed. One guy gets killed in a road accident because he's so tense. He keeps on thinking about, he's in doubt all the time. He gets confused. So he gets killed in an accident. Another guy commits suicide. Just by psychology, he gets them all killed. So psychology plays such an important role. Doubt is very dangerous. You should never live in doubt. Doubt damages the soul. It causes confusion. And if it damages the soul, it will remain with you for your next few lives also. So that is the reason why doubt is very dangerous. On the other hand, knowledge is full of wakefulness. It purifies, it destroys sins. It can destroy sin. How can it destroy sin? What is sin?
A sin is something bad.
That you have done,
Yeah.
right? It can destroy sins. How? By reprogramming your soul. Knowledge basically programs your soul, right? Just
Right.
like you program your computer, knowledge programs your soul.
Based on what knowledge you have, you will make an action. Based on what input or code you have, you will make an action.
Exactly. So
So
knowledge,
on whatever knowledge you have, you make use of it and you build yourself up.
yes, that's right. See, you're getting all these complex ideas, thoughts very correctly at this very young age. So you should continue these thoughts even during your daytime. And so knowledge basically programs your soul. So the sin is basically something stored in your soul. When you reprogram it, the sin gets erased. You can erase it just like you can erase a program from the memory of a computer. You can erase the impression in the soul using knowledge. So there are three, like you said, knowledge drives karma, right? The action. So there are three types of karma that's according to our culture. What are the, you know?
The action through passion, the action through ignorance, and the action
No,
through
yeah,
goodness.
that is a different concept. But the three types of karma that you accumulate, karma phala rather, the fruits of
Phala?
karmas. Huh?
Oh, so the result.
Yeah,
Goal.
yeah, they are divided into three. One is called prarabdha karma, um, and the other is called sanchita karma, and the third is called agami karma. What is agami? Gami, gachati,
Got
gamya, aga,
goal.
yeah, goal. Agami means something in future that is going to come.
So
Agami,
something yet to come.
something yet to come. So agami karma is something yet to come because of the actions that you take now.
So,
So that is one kind of karma.
and that's the least done karma because normally when people do things for immediate result.
Yeah.
So
Agami karma is something that is in store for us because of our current actions. Sanchita karma is sum of all our past actions. It is a store, repository of all the results from the past actions. That is Sanchita karma. And prarabdha karma means many old people says prarabdham, that is my prarabdham. Prarabdham means that is what you accumulated in the present body by actions of your past lives.
You. Oh, so it's
So you are suffering now because of the past lives. That is prarabdha karma.
Oh, so it's like for the businessman who his last word was dirty rat.
Yeah.
So he became a dirty rat. Would that be the type of karma? Prarabdha
No,
karma.
that is agami karma. Because he uttered dirty rat, he became a dirty rat.
So then
So
why?
the dirty rat effect was not immediate. It is in future.
Oh.
If it is in future, it's called agami karma.
Then if it's from one birth to the other,
It's called prarabdha karma.
but then wasn't that from one birth to the other? It was. I mean, it was
Yeah,
the
yeah.
end.
In the
and
next
beginning.
birth, it will be prarabdha karma.
Oh, but in that birth, it'll become
agami karma. Just like
Ah.
tomorrow becomes today, tomorrow, right?
Oh yeah.
Just like that. So agami karma, sanchita karma, prarabdha karma. So knowledge can destroy prarabdha karma and sanchita karma by reprogramming. Your past impressions can be completely erased by knowledge, with knowledge. And it can make the third karma, agami karma, ineffective. How? Like you said, knowledge drives action. Good knowledge will drive good action. So when you do good things today,
You get good things.
yeah,
tomorrow.
good tomorrow.
It's like how they say, what goes around comes around.
Right,
So whatever you send, it'll come back to you.
right. So knowledge has that power to completely destroy all sins, present, past, and future. It can reprogram. Knowledge has the ability to reprogram your soul. So that is the reason why satsangs are so important. People spend hours on satsang,
And we're doing
talking
a
about
satsang
good
right
things.
now.
Yeah, like we are doing now. People used to sit together and talk about good things, right? So that is the power of knowledge. So knowledge is very, very important. See, you can reprogram, right? You can just like you can reprogram your mind. See, I saw a person who reprogrammed her mind so much that the person, you try to test the person in any way, the person would not um, come out with the bad things that the person did in the past. I mean, there are many people, right? There are many people who tell lies so nicely that it is very hard to make out. You know that they are telling a lie, but they are so expert.
Oh, so you know that they're lying, but you can't identify how they're lying.
Yeah.
You can't prove it.
Yes. Because they program their mind in such a way, they completely program their
But
mind.
wouldn't we have to do the programming in our mind to
Yeah, so
not
they
realize it?
yeah they program their mind, like they program in the mind um, so strongly that they, whatever question you ask, they are able, you will not be able to make out that they are telling a lie.
So every time we memorize something, aren't we programming our mind to actually remember
Yeah,
it?
sort of. That is one way. That is a very easy way.
Yeah, because we
Memorizing,
do that all the time.
yeah, memorizing is a very easy way. You can easily be tricked into giving up your memory.
Really?
But yeah, I mean, that's what the lawyers do. I mean, at least in the movies, they show lawyers, they ask a lot of questions which will trick the person into giving out the truth. But some people program so very well that the lawyers or any person will not be able to detect. So programming, you can program your, just like you can program your mind, you can program your soul. And the programming happens through knowledge, right? So knowledge is very, very powerful.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Maybe it's same like being brainwashed. So meaning like they don't know that they're saying a lie, but they can't make out they're saying a lie.
Yeah, that's right. Brainwash is the other word. which comes very close to reprogramming, right? So you brainwash, somebody is afraid of something or somebody likes something, you brainwash that person against that belief. So that is another way of reprogramming your mind. You like sweets. Now somebody brainwashes you saying that sweets are bad for you, you will unnecessarily gain weight, your health will get spoiled. So that is brainwashing. So somebody is reprogramming your mind and body to not like sweets.
So is it somewhat like blackmailing?
Not always blackmail. Blackmailing
Bad.
is bad, and
It's trying to influence you in a bad way to
yeah.
make you agree with the person.
Yeah, but it is not always effective also. Blackmail often fails.
Really?
Yeah. uh,
Well, I mean, because when you ask, like,
so in movies you see that, right? Particularly in James Bond movies, somebody will hold somebody hostage and they'll threaten, they'll blackmail. You come near me, I'm going to kill this person. Then what does James Bond do? He doesn't get scared because of
because they
blackmail.
won't.
They just he does something else. So blackmailing is really very ineffective way of programming. The best way the most effective way to program your mind is knowledge. That's what this person who tells lies does. Basically, the person gets knowledge about everything about the lies and then programs the mind. But it's in a bad way. Just like that, you program your mind. Suppose you are having affinity for sweets. You program your mind saying that sweets are bad for me, I will not eat. You program your mind with knowledge. Then you will no longer eat sweets, right? So knowledge has a power to reprogram your soul. So all the sins, all the doubts will get cleared with knowledge. So that is the power of knowledge. So knowledge is important. Doubt is damaging. And to get knowledge, you need faith, interest, and self control. These three are very important to get knowledge. And with knowledge, you can reprogramming your soul, you can remove all your sins, you can wash out all your sins, and all the bad effects of previous karmas will get washed out, right? Okay, so we have gone over time, so let us end the class here with our prayer. Asatoma Sadgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amrutangamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sarve Jana Sukhino Bhavantu. Samasta Sanmangalani Santu.